feedback. Where's my script? Here we go. Woo, woo, woo. Yeah, we can make some noise. This is an exciting show. Eh. But yeah, my name's Tom. Co-hosting the show with me tonight, as always, is Lisa. Tonight, each of our comedians will be performing a 5-minute set. After your set, Lisa and I will be trying to stick to 5 minutes of giving you all feedback before moving on to the next comedian. We never will be successful with that, but that's always the goal. But while we invite discussion during the allotted time, we actually do have a full room tonight. If there's anything that we can't address in the moment, feel free to follow up with us via email or Facebook message or whatever. We're happy to go into more depth if you have questions about the notes. And also, if you go into gallery view, let me make it visible. That's a timer. So you'll have a little timer going to show you how much time you have left in your set. Theoretically, why is it not playing? That's odd. Could have figured that out before we started. But either way, that's how you can keep track of your timer. If you need an audible cue, we'll also say 1 minute into the mic when you have 1 minute left in your set, should you request it. And to our audience, keep in mind as we get started that our intention is to help facilitate the growth of these comedians. Woo! They come to us with varying levels of experience, and comedy is subjective, and we're probably going to give advice that you don't agree with. So just deal with it. Additionally, if the audience or the comedians enjoy the show and want to support the stream, consider making a donation at district-comedy.live, or better yet, buy a ticket to our showcase this Friday, Fancy Mike. Tickets are $10, but we have special $5 tickets for people who can plan ahead. Yeah. That's, again, this Friday at 8 p.m. Eastern. And again, district-comedy.com/fancy for that one. All the links can be found in the description. I should probably just say that going forward. But now that I'm done, we're going to get started with our first comedian of the evening. Please welcome to the virtual stage, John O'Keefe. Woo, 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 woo. Woo! Yay! Yeah. Love. Woo! Give it up for John, everybody! All right, all right, all right. Okay, okay, okay. Let me just reset the timer real quick and get it ready for the next comic. But that was really funny. A lot of strong things in there. I think the coffee and the date portion at the end were like the strongest topics for me, which was a good portion of your act. But like the reenactment, I thought was very fun, like holding the phone actually. And I know I'm already stepping onto some of Lisa's territory, but I'm gonna say it anyway. And just like in general, I think that especially with the at least millennial culture, and I believe at least younger, if not some of the older generations as well. Just like coffee's really taken off. It feels like more than it ever has before. Like everybody is a twitchy, strung out like coffee cokehead now. So I appreciated seeing that. A line that stood out to me the most was human sadness as a graph. I thought that was great. Um, something that I would say again, well, I don't know if this would be something that I'm stepping on Lisa's toes to talk about, but um, so again, like the thing with virtual backgrounds for me is that I 100% will prefer a neutral background that is real over a virtual background. And I've seen people do funny stuff with it before. I'm not saying it's not possible. I've seen people where they like set it up like the newscaster segment of SNL, Weekend Update, that's what it's called. And sometimes it can be very effective. And I think part of what the difference is that on Zoom, you have the option for like it to insert the virtual background versus using a green screen. I think the green screen is probably something that really makes the difference. Because that was the only thing that was kind of distracting about the set was seeing you disappear a bit, and then also, yeah, exactly. Unless you want to be a wall, and like even then, it's like even if you like want to make that a bit, I don't know if you're familiar with Rachel Rothenberg, but she has done something which is really funny, which is she'll do like the virtual background stuff with the green screen and then like have parts of the room rather than like the entire wall behind her and like parts of her clothing be green and then that then adopts the background. But I think like just in general, as far as preferences, I would say no virtual background. And the thing is too, it always like drops people's like frames per second too, and it like kind of increases the likelihood that like the audio will skip. Oh God. If you're gonna be like, is this distracting? Yeah. Yep. Um, but yeah, it's already like dropping less of your frames just by dropping that. And again, like that background, it's not distracting. Lisa will talk about how like if you want, you can make it a choice. But and then last thing is that I really liked the calling herself a cab when your dick didn't work. I feel like also just like as far as a like note to leave the audience on because it's such like a personal self-deprecating anecdote. It felt really jarring, which as far as talking about like comedy being that building up and breaking down of tension, I thought worked really well. Anyway, that's it from me. Knew it. And the sound was great. Yeah. Yeah. Awesome, awesome. So, give a hand one more time for John, everybody. Woo! Next up on the set list that I just put in the chat but forgot to read. Oh yeah, coming to us from Spain. Give it up for Simona. Woo 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 woo. Mhm. Woo, 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 woo! Give it up a Simona, everybody. Uh-oh. Okay. And just a reminder, if you'd like to stop recording yourself now, or are you doing the advice too? Cool, cool. No, that's fine. I just wanted to check because I know that I am getting to the brim of my data plan for Zoom myself. So always try and warn people in case they're getting stuff they don't need. Anyway, so uh, few things. I'm not going to talk about virtual background stuff for people who have virtual background. You've heard it already. You get it. But I really liked your opener for the whole Zoom. I really need to see other people. It's not me. It's me. That was so cute the way that you did it. I just, God, you're also generally very likable, which I would exploit as much as possible. But I thought that was strong, and then you went into the stalker relationship stuff, which is like the even stalkers are working from home now. I think is great. If uh, but for your set, I think my advice is going to be more geared towards kind of thinking about your material as a whole and like thinking of it going into a longer set. Because I know we only do 5 minutes, but um, just some suggestions for like working now on the longer segments. um, I think Zoom opener into the stalker stuff was good. Then maybe because I know you have it already, you can go into some of that other kind of relationship material stuff, the Tinder, all that jazz. Um, and then you went from that to the advice from the tea bags, which went into family, which went into childhood. So like in general, I think just like starting to think about like what are your big categories of things that you're going to hit and how can we group them together, and even like looking at tonight's set, you can get creative with the way that you group it. For instance, in the childhood section of your set you talk about like sneaking out to chess club, which I think is great and I think it's hilarious. And rather than that being under the category of childhood, if you wanted to have like a section of your set that's like ways that I'm a geek, then you can kind of group the how you drink tea instead of coffee because you're a nerd with the chess stuff. Kind of thinking about it that way. And then I also want to encourage you for the joking your set, where it's like, when in your life is being gloomy helpful? And it's like, no, we're really, I think that a good writing exercise, if you want to just like do a quick, like, write 10 things within the span of 1 minute that being gloomy is good for, that might generate a tag or something to kind of tie that up rather than just saying, nothing. Gloomy's not being good for anything. I think that might be a good way to like fit in another quick joke before moving on to the next thing. As far as the content of the family and childhood stuff, I liked it all. I really like the t-shirt bit about everything is better with vodka. That is a true fact. And the for some reason I really liked. I noticed I was laughing hard at your parents forgetting that you existed. That might just be something that I have to deal with and unpack with myself later. But nonetheless, again, content was very strong in your set, as it has been since you've been coming on the show. So I think it's like time to start doing those exercises for higher level thinking as far as like what's the next step for my longer sets for when I'm being asked to do 10-minute, 15-minute. That's it. Hmm. Yeah. Woo! Give it up one more time for Simona, everybody. Woo! All right, next up on the set list for the evening, it's the only person in the room it's his first time on the mic. Give it up for Wesley Smith. Woo, 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 woo! I cannot spotlight you because your camera's gone. Sorry. If it seems like I'm spotlighting you, Sonia, I am not. Um, are you there, Wesley? Wesley? Oh, there you are. Okay. Now you are muted. Oh, there we go. All right, we will keep that in mind and try and give you feedback on the jokes we hear. But give it up one more time for Wesley Smith. Woo, 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 woo. Are you there? Oh, we haven't had someone like get completely. Oh, there we go. You're back. Hmm. If you... Woo, woo, woo! Give it up for Wesley, everybody! Okay, we're just gonna jump into it because, a little bit, a little bit. I was gonna give you a little bit of extra time anyway because you're having some technical difficulties, but nonetheless, I thought it was overall like pretty strong. I appreciate that there wasn't like too much profanity in your humor. Not that like I personally care, like I say fuck all the time, but in the scheme of like comedy, like until people have like really built a brand for themselves, having like a clean set in your back pocket is going to make you more marketable and more eligible for gigs as you're building that base. So it's good that you have that. I thought that you had like the bones of like really good writing in a lot of your jokes, like even starting off with the Velveeta is to cheese as Great Clips is to salons analogy was very funny and like a good way to structure a joke, even though when I said it, it sounded like an SAT question. But so the thing that I wonder if there's room for you to build on is the like the person didn't even look like Wesley, and the Kate didn't even look like a Kate. She looked like a Karen. I wonder if there is some comedic bit that will help tie the overall premise together, which is basically that like there is something about you that you have a skill that nobody else has, which is that you can tell people like what name they should have been given is. Does that make sense? Does that make sense? Oh, okay. I was like, he's either frozen or listening really intently. Either way, I'm gonna keep talking because at the very least, oh, sorry. Yeah. Either way, if you freeze again, by the way, I'm just gonna keep giving notes because the recording you'll be able to watch later. But yeah, I think accents are hard to do as far as the Polish bit of it. I also wonder because the basis of the premise is that you're basically making things up about Poland. So I think a lot of the joke will still be successful if you don't do an accent at all. I think that that would at least be worth like maybe experimenting with. But I thought overall, like again, it was very strong. The whole like Kate is a Karen, the tasers bit, and yeah. Uh, Again, I would also look at this footage later on just as a reminder to yourself to see where you cut out so that you don't accidentally like think that those jokes were not successful when in fact it may just be that we missed them. I think that's a helpful thing, and I actually try and tell people that in general because sometimes they cut out on their end and it's like, no, we heard you, we just didn't. um, but anyway, that's it from me. Go ahead, Lisa. Mm. Woo! Give it up one more time for Wesley, everybody. All right, all right, all right. We are going to move on to our next comedian who was very nice and didn't even say anything, even though I posted a set list and then completely ignored it and skipped them in line. But she's here with us now. She's very funny. She's been on the show a couple times. Give it up for Sonia. Woo, 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 woo! Give it up for Sonia, everybody! Woo, woo, woo! Oh my god, that was so fun. So jumping into it. I feel like there was a like good chunk of the first part of your set, which was kind of improvised, like riffing with what Simona had done. So hats off to you. It's a harder skill than people realize, and I thought that you did pretty well with it. And I think that it lent you some good premises, which if you want to build on later, you can. Like, I really liked the passive aggressive tea, and if you don't want it to be tea, you can like also vary it up that way. Either change it to like something like fortune cookies or like the lid from like Lipton tea bottles or whatever the drink is that has those. Uh, which one is it, Lisa? Yeah, there we go. Snapple, that's what it was. But so like just ways that you can vary it up, so that if you don't want to use tea bags, you can. But I also really liked that the overall theme of your set was basically like talking about how you were a nerdy kid, which I think is great. I think it's so fun. I think that and I'll just break it down to you bit by bit because that's how I have it in my notes. But so for the Hermione like Harry Potter reenactment where you go out and read the letter, I think we gave you the note before of like maybe having the letter, which I loved that you took that. I think that it also inspired that like it may be worth seeing what type of reaction you get if you really take the time to like set up the scene for the audience before you start the reenactment portion. So like taking the audience through, okay, just imagine I'm like really gnarly looking. I got my braces. I'm alone in my room in the middle of the night. It's raining outside. It's super moody and I'm like writing this letter or whatever. Like you can make it as ridiculous as you want, which is basically the real note. And also actually for the teabag bit is that I think a good direction for you would be to exaggerate and to like see how you can flip your jokes if you go for like the absurdist. Like for the teabag stuff, yeah, if your mom's going to like be passive aggressive, Like maybe we don't know her. You can make up stuff about her. Maybe she's like extremely rich and she bought a tea company just so she could print out passive aggressive labels for your tea. Like obviously not true, but you can get fun and crazy with it if you want. Um, I also thought maybe going back to the Harry Potter stuff, there's room or maybe a parallel between like getting your Hogwarts letter and like some sort of other coming of age moment, maybe like a parallel to puberty, like oh, 12, I thought I would have gotten my growth spurt and my Hogwarts letter. Like these were the things I was expecting and here I am 5'7". That's more specific to me. But and then also I think so because I want to say the strongest part of that whole thing for me was the line, while my peers were smoking and getting high, I was writing letters to fictional characters, to Harry Potter characters. I think that is like the strongest line in there right now, which I love is great. And then think about maybe if that's my strongest line, uh, maybe how can I reorganize the set? Because we always want to like bookend, start and leave on like something really strong. Or if you're in the middle of the set list, at least start by referring to a previous act which you did and ending on something strong. And then loved the dare segment. Again, I felt like this was all on the same theme. I love that you had the recurring story of Melissa in there with that. And again, I think that's something where you can like exaggerate it and it doesn't have to necessarily be completely true. I'm assuming Melissa's fake anyway, or at least that's a fake name because otherwise, oh, hope she doesn't see this. Which don't worry, she's not because nobody watches this. But I think like it could be fun to exaggerate, and I think that it could be fun also in the end to flip. If after all that worrying about Melissa doing drugs and all this other like scandalous behavior, if it ends up that she is the one who is the CEO of Lawyers Are Us, and me after doing all the abstinence and dare programs, I am like I don't know, make something up awful about yourself if you can't. If everything's going really well for you, if you have actual stuff from your life that you could emphasize how you did not turn out well for all of these things that you did, that's even better. But if not, you can always make something up. But overall, really good. I loved all the premises. Again, it was really fun and like I love when I give notes like this. Like when I give lots of notes like this, uh, generally that's an indication that you've done especially well because what you've done has really inspired my sense of humor to give more feedback. So well done. Take it away, Lisa. Validated. Vivian. Yeah, give it up one more time for Sonia, everybody! Woo, 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 woo! Well, that's it for tonight. Have a great time. I'm kidding, Desiree. Oh my god, I just wanted to give you a heart attack. And it worked. Although I do want to go back and say that, like, I also kind of, for what Lisa was saying at the beginning of her advice, I think it would be hilarious if this show was actually just a ruse so that we could give up and coming comedians bad advice to lessen the competition for ourselves. That would be evil and. Yeah, exactly. No, no, no. That's not what the show is. We do appreciate you guys being vulnerable to our advice, and we do try and help how we can. Anyway, next up, we are going to give all of our attention and a huge round of applause to the next comedian who's awesome. He's got a unicorn rainbow background, which is so cheery and joyful. Give it up for Desiree Walsh. Woo, 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 woo. Mhm. We'll just end it. It's also always hard if you are going to say that you're done, be told you have more time, and then try and resume jokes. No, that's totally fine. I'm saying I would do the same as you as far as like I would uh no. Lisa, that is her trying to humbly end the set where it stood. Come on, get it together. No, no, no. You're good. I'm just adjusting things real quick and gonna talk about your set a little bit because that's what this show is. Okay, I'm gonna regret this later when I look at the footage, but it was bothering me. I had to. You guys can't even see what's going on right now. I was just like adjusting the grid and the frame for the stream. Anyway, sorry. To feedback. So I feel like this is a Desiree exclusive joke that I have and that your regulars may have, which is great because it encourages people to really get to know you, see the stuff you do, watch your set. But now I am like genuinely in suspense anytime that you say, I have to say this about myself or else I die. Because I don't know, are you going to say Canadian? Are you gonna say in a wheelchair? Are you gonna like switch it up every now and then? Is it gonna be like I am a woman and like I don't know? Maybe that's something to like consider. Again, I don't even know. I think it again is just working for me because I'm so familiar with your set at this point. But it's something to play with. So maybe if the occasion for it comes up where it's like a bunch of people who are familiar with you. When you go to film your special, that's something that you can play with. Is basically what I'm saying. But I thought the slightly hungover and tired versus drunk and high was really funny. Strong opener. I missed a little bit. Right, exactly. Sorry, slightly hungry and tired versus drunk and high. I think I put in hungover because I was like thinking about like the inverse of drunken high. But either way, can you explain? Because I think I missed the section of your act that was the here are some stories, where you're like talking about like bringing back your friends some stories after they had kind of inquired about why you weren't at an open mic. Okay, okay. I thought that there was like something that I had missed in the like them expecting you to have stories. I wasn't sure if it was like referencing like, oh, I can't wait to like see your act next because like they know that when you see your family that you come back with stories of them because you do other. Okay, okay, okay. Okay. Right, exactly. So again, like something that for the Desiree special is great, and then like uh if somebody doesn't know that you have that bit joke might be a little confusing for them. Um I thought that the whole like starting off bit about like there's gay people at my work now was great. That whole section is really strong, and I also if you can use this joke, I think there's also something funny in like the phrasing of there's gay people at my work now. And it's like, I think they might have been gay before, and they just didn't say it because of oppression. Um, I also noticed that you changed brass, changed it to brass from steel in the time that I've like heard you tell that joke before, which I think great, awesome. If that's true, that's extra. I was gonna say even if it's not true, I just think the word brass probably because it sounds like ass is a funnier word, so it's a stronger choice. Um, also, I was wondering if the when the section of your joke where you provide the suggestion of using they them pronouns, um, that was like the suggestion from your mom in this story. And if I'm not mistaken, I think it was the first time that she was mentioned, which again, if you're if you're doing this as more of a standalone piece, that might be a good place to insert the bit you already have about her like coming out from around the corner like a Batman villain. Um, right, exactly. But like, I think that was the first time she was mentioned in the story. So that entrance joke about the Batman villain thing from previous sets would fit in there too if you wanted to like plug that in. And this was a independent section, but and I really loved my daughter says I can't talk to you bit. Just think that's a real fun premise, and then again talking about how things could be like plugged around your bank choke obviously would also be fun to mention with your bank material if there's an easy segue for that for like I'm going to tell you what this building was before the bank was a bank. And then also it could be fun if it's like back in my day this was a bank. It's a bank now. Well, back in my day, it was still a bank. Yeah. Now it just has money. Back in my day, we didn't have money. It's like I don't believe you. But anyway, that's pretty much it. All the jokes that were in there from previous sets that I liked, I still liked. So good job. Take it away, Lisa. She's Canadian today. Mm. Mhm. Oh, sorry, not to interrupt you, Lisa. I also thought for a second that you were talking about this. I thought this was the support group for a second. Like, this is where you go Tuesdays. Sorry. Woo! Give it up one more time for Desiree Walsh, everybody. Woo! And then I don't normally do this, but before I officially take us out, I'm just going to re-emphasize something that Lisa said, because that was good advice for everybody and applies in multiple ways. But the whole raising the stakes thing, that is great advice. Anytime you feel like you're stuck with a bit, raising the stakes either literally in your writing or even just the delivery of the joke is a great way to kind of breathe new life into it if you're feeling, again, stuck with something. Anyway, that's my 2 cents, and our 2 cents, because that's the whole show. But here we go. Going to take us out of here real quick. Big thank you to my co-host Lisa, to the comedians for being so open to feedback, and of course to our awesome audience, if you're out there. Again, if you want to support the stream, you can do so at district-comedy.live, or hit that like, share, subscribe button, depending on where you're viewing. And also, don't forget, this Friday at 8 p.m. Eastern, district-comedy.com/fancy. We are doing our showcase. Please buy a ticket. Please come see the show. I want to pay the lovely, talented comedians who are going to be on the show, but I can't do that if we don't have a show because there's no audience. So please check it out if you can. Links to everything is in the description. And if you want to be on the show, that link's also in the description. Everything's in the description. See you next week. Have a good night.